Well, I was over there for what my fellow YouTube activists called the Godless Gathering, which is a bunch of YouTube atheist activists. We've gotten together and just decided to have a good time, have a couple of drinks, and hang out, basically. Mm-hmm. So we all went to Columbus, Ohio, and it was called by a user named Healthy Addict. Love her channel. It's awesome. And we had a lot of the most famous YouTube atheists on at the gathering. But one of the activities that we all decided that will probably be a good idea, although only a few of us ended up going, was there's a creation museum in Kentucky, just a 2-hour drive from Columbus, Ohio. So,
and is this Ken Ham's deal?
I think it is, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty big. It takes you about about 2 hours to walk through it. Yeah, it's huge.
Skeptic Snarf says the gathering was a blast in the camera.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. He was with us when we went to the Creation Museum.
Okay.
So
cool.
much fun.
So all right. So at the Creation Museum,
mm-hmm.
Tell me the story about the Ark. Noah's Ark.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The roaring. Well, we were going through the museum, and we got to the Noah's Ark exhibit. We were walking through, and I happened to be filming, and I heard this roar. I looked over, and there's an animatronic Noah display. And the animatronic Noah is basically saying, "Oh, this is what happened. God told me to build the Bible." And he's shaking his finger in the air, and it's like, "Yay!" I'm like, "Wow, that's a little weird." And then there's this roaring sound, and the animatronic Noah looks up and goes, "Oh, I know what that sound is. Hey, open grain store number 12 for the dragons." I was like, Wait a minute, what? I almost lost it at that point until I realized there was a family in there, mother and father, and about 6 children. The oldest of which was a boy. He was standing there with his parents, and as soon as the animatronic Noah said, "Open grain store number 12 for the dragons," he rolled his head, rolled his eyes, and goes, "Oh my God." I could hardly stand it. I had to walk away.
Well, did they, as part of, sort of, I don't know if you've ever been to Las Vegas, but they've got, there's this part where it's outside, and I don't remember what story it is, but there's this ship, and they have like this big storm, and water's all over, and the pirates fall off the ship. Did you, at the Creation Museum, did they then animate this thing so that like a bunch of water came and the Ark floats off, or was it just the grains coming in?
No. Just the model. They just had the models set up for it. That's all.
Well, another thing people want to know in the chat room, because I enticed them, was about the little text message I got from you. What happened?
Well, the text message you got from me was when we were accosted by the armed guard. Well, by three of the armed guards at the Creation Museum. We had noticed before that every guard at the Creation Museum, every single one, was armed. All of them. 9mm and .45 calibers. So it was kind of weird because I think we passed, I don't know, on the way in, I think we passed 6 guards, and these weren't, and only one of these was one of the 3 that came to talk to us, but I'll get to that in a second. We passed at least 6 people who were armed with handguns, tasers or mace, handcuffs, extra clips, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of the guards were in, especially 2 of the ones that came to talk to us later on in the Creation Museum. They had uniforms on that made them look like a lot like state troopers.
Somebody just asked here, and I think it's appropriate. I don't know if you know the answer. Dark Matter says, what happened in the past that would cause them to need armed guards like, these that you've just described?
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. And see, that's the thing. We actually had this discussion in the car. We were wondering what would prompt them to want to carry weapons with them. And they said, well, there have been shootings at churches and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, but that's usually the more religious people shooting the less religious people or non-religious people for, well, being not or less religious. So, I mean, I don't know. Were they coming in to protect us from other people? Anyway, yeah, I have no idea what would prompt them to think it was necessary to carry a firearm into a museum. And plus the fact, it's not exactly like they actually have anything valuable in there.
That's what Dark Matter just said. It wasn't like there's anything valuable in there. And Dakota O'Leary says, well, I don't know. I'd steal a dinosaur.